Alright, are you guys in for a long video? Because this is, I think, going to be a long one. We are ranking every single Destiny 2 exotic in the game. And if I scroll down here, it really doesn't look like many. Believe it or not, this is every single Destiny 2 weapon, every Destiny 2 exotic weapon. Like, I think there's 131 here, I want to say. 130. It's 130. So a couple disclaimers that I want to say real quick before I start ranking these weapons. This is my personal opinion. I have to say that because I know that there are certain individuals currently in this world that are unable to process other people's opinions. So I will be displaying this in my own opinion. I'll start from the bottom and work my way up because, you know, makes it easier. So trash speaks for itself. It's a trash exotic. It belongs in this column. Not used. It's not a trash exotic. It's just no one uses them. Is you know, I can see some viability. Underrated means they should be used because they are actually pretty good. It's fun means, you know, it's a fun exotic. It's got some fun perks. People actually use it. And then an exotic is, I mean, it sounds a little bit self-explanatory, but it actually means this exotic is actually worthy of being an exotic. That is the tier list. This is going to be my opinion. Strap in, get some snacks, get some drinks, and let's start ranking these from start to finish. First of all, we have got the Hunter exotic, Ace of Spades. And I say the Hunter exotic because this was specifically a Hunter exotic back in Destiny 1. Ace of Spades, Ace of Spades. So obviously we like Ace of Spades because it's Cade's gun. It's got its own unique animation. It's got Memento Mori. It's a fun gun. So I'm going to put that in it's fun. I like that. Ager's Scepter. However you want to say this. This weapon, you hold the R button and it makes you have like a better beam, basically. A better stasis beam. But the only annoying thing is that it uses your super energy. However, with the amount of stasis stuff that we've got in the game right now, I'd actually say that this is fairly underrated because so many people should be using this because it is actually really good. I don't think this should be slept on at all. I'm gonna say Agar Scepter, definitely underrated. And now we've got Altheanim, however you say this exotic name. See, this is an interesting one because this is actually a stasis weapon, which the perks of the exotic doesn't actually have anything to do with stasis at all. The ornament for this is actually pretty good, but the gun itself I don't really think is that great, to be honest with you. I never see it used, and the stasis weapon isn't part of any of the exotic perks that it has, so I'm just gonna say that it's trash, to be honest with you. It is a trash weapon. Definitely could be better. Speaking of ornaments, actually, because the ornament for this weapon is actually pretty cool. It's like all stasis. Should I make a tier list for every exotic ornament for weapons? Because it will obviously be a longer video because we'll be doing every single exotic weapon plus the ornament that each individual exotic weapon has. But if you guys want it, I'll happily do that. So, and there's some really cool ornaments in this game. So if you guys want to see that, write a comment in the comment section below and I will absolutely happily do that. Anarchy is the one, man. Anarchy is literally the exotic that we can say, yes, this is an exotic weapon. This thing has saved my ass so many times. It's used in raid. It's literally used as one of those must-use exotics, to be honest with you. It's so good. Then we have Bad Juju. So Bad Juju is another interesting one as well because I wouldn't even really classic Bad Juju as an exotic weapon because the whole purpose, the whole perk of Bad Juju, it gives you super energy, right? It refunds your super energy. But there's so many perks and little hidden things that you can do with the artifact and, you know, things with your prismatic aspects and fragments and all that stuff, which just helps you get back super energy so much. So like the fact that the exotic perk of this weapon you can just get from doing other things, I'll say that it's a fun gun, but it's actually, you know what, I'm gonna put it in not used. I don't see anyone use this either. Like I said, the exotic trait can be found from doing other things. Arbalest. This weapon dominated PvP for such a long time. It really did. But now people just don't use it. I don't see people use Arbalest at all, to be honest with you. Like, there are other linear fusion rifles out there. Euphony is one of them. We'll actually get to that later in this video. But yeah, Arbalest is not used anymore. Barrow Dyad. Now, this exotic is absolutely insane, and with each week that we were given with Heresy Act 3, we were just constantly upgrading this thing to just be an absolute monster. So yeah, this thing is just on a whole nother level, and you will not find the perk of this gun on any other gun. So that is going on exotic. That is a unique exotic right there. Bastion, again, it's another one that I don't really see as used, to be honest with you. I feel like the not used column is going to be filled up by quite a bit, to be honest. But it's another weapon that was introduced back in Season of the Dawn, and it just never gets used anymore. It was fun at the time. It's got a cool animation when you lock and load the shot, but it's just not used anymore. And now we have Black Talon. This thing is fun. I'm gonna put this in fun because when you're running around with that in PvP and you shoot off that right click, it really upsets some players, but it's a fun exotic to use. It's a little bit annoying how it does kind of take up an exotic slot, I won't lie to you, but yeah, it's fun. And now we have the PlayStation exclusive Borealis. This was a PlayStation exclusive back in Destiny 2 Vanilla. Eventually they brought it out for all platforms, but this is honestly not a great gun at all, to be honest with you. The exotic perk is honestly terrible, and like the whole point of the perk, right, is you can change between different classes like Solar, Void, and Arc and things like that, and at face value you're like, huh, that's pretty cool, that's actually interesting. But now we have Prismatic in the game. It literally makes this gun redundant. It's trash. Centrifuge is another exotic auto rifle that I just don't ever see anyone use, to be honest with you. I wouldn't exactly say that it's a trash weapon because it does have some instances where it can be somewhat viable, but again, it's just not used all that much. Cerberus +1, the idea on and lore of Cerberus +1 is pretty cool, to be honest with you. I'm gonna put that in because I do actually see some people use it from time to time. I wouldn't exactly say it's underrated. I don't use it myself, so I don't really see it as a fun type of weapon to use, but like it's alright. It's not that bad. Choir of One, if you wanted the Vex in a weapon, this is your weapon to go for. This was all of the hype when it came out. It really was. Again, I'm gonna put it in as because I still see the odd person use it here and there. It is extremely rare. It is very, very rare. It's almost going into the not used bracket, but it's just it's got a cool exotic perk where you can fire out kind of like the charged bullet, but it's not exactly something that you would want to take into a Grandmaster. It's not really the most amazing in PvP. In fact, I don't see anyone use it in PvP, but it's not a trash weapon either, so I'm going to put it in Now we've got Buried Bloodline. Now when Buried Bloodline was announced and when people saw this for the first time, they were like, oh my god, a crossbow weapon? It wasn't entirely a crossbow weapon, but I would actually say that this exotic is actually kind of underrated. It fires a double bullet and it also drains the life out of everyone that you shoot, so I really don't see people use this at all, to be honest with you. But I actually do think, especially with the current artifact mods that we have, this weapon would be pretty sick to try out and bring out again. Cold Heart. Oh my god. Now, for any of you D2 veterans like myself out there, you will know that Cold Heart was the pre-order bonus for Destiny 2 Vanilla base game. And let me tell you, if stasis was a thing back then, this would have been a stasis weapon. Sadly, it's an arc weapon, but the whole premise of it is that it's ice and it uses ice and it gets stronger and stronger the more you use it. This is such an underrated weapon, to be honest with you. It's not trash at all. Literally, the more you use the gun, the stronger it gets. And some of the ornaments that this thing has is genuinely sick. It has some of the best ornaments in the game. But if they were going to like rework anything when it comes to any of these exotics that I've listed up so far, Cold Heart definitely needs to be changed to a stasis weapon and have some perk which does like slow damage or something, because yeah, it's such a cool weapon. Collective Obligation, a raid weapon which really isn't that good. I would actually say that this weapon's trash, to be honest with you, because you can cycle through the different options, but there are so many other better void weapons out there. Like, it literally puts this redundant. And to be honest with you, it feels a little bit shit putting an exotic weapon into the trash column, but unfortunately a lot of the exotic weapons that we have in the game right now are just really not that good, and this is just one of them. However, speaking of the complete opposite, a raid weapon which is actually really good, Conditional Finality, the only gun in the game which uses two archetypes at the exact same time, and in this case it is solar and stasis. I actually used this in PvP at one point because it was just good. It was so good. It is fun, it's very fun, but this is exotic tier. What a great gun. And again, the ornament for this weapon is also sick as well, but this is 100% gonna be exotic tier, absolutely, without a doubt. The most aggravating thing about PvP and sniper rifles is Cloud Strike, to be honest with you. If your teammate so much as peeks at the wrong time, you are also the one that will be paying the price for it if someone is ADSing down a narrow lane using this weapon. I can imagine that when someone gets like at least a double with this weapon in Trials of Osiris, the feeling you get must be pretty damn good. I don't use this weapon. I actually don't use this weapon at all. I'm not really a sniper fan. However, I can see how this would definitely fit into people's absolute S tier weapons. So I'm gonna put Cloud Strike in exotic. I think it's unique. It doesn't look like any other weapon that we've got in the game. I can imagine it's a fun gun to use when you do hit the double or even just the triple. So I think that's worthy of exotic class type of weapon. And we have Crimson. Crimson, I just don't see used anymore, to be honest with you. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say not used. I really don't even have much to say about Crimson. If this list was about lore, every single one of these weapons would be in completely different places because the lore of Crimson is actually really cool. But yeah, I just don't see people use it. Now that we've got Red Death, this is just kind of on the back burner now. Cryosthesia 77k. I love stasis. I am the Warlock stasis god. That is my tagline for anyone that knows me. I love stasis. This is such an underrated weapon. I'm gonna be completely honest with you because I don't see anyone use this, but the actual ad control of this gun, if you have the right build, is genuinely insane. Like, it's so good, and it's just slept on. If you haven't tried this gun in a long time, bang it out, because trust me, it's a good gun. Darcy. Now, Darcy's an interesting weapon. I'm not gonna put it in the not used, and I'm not gonna put it in the trash. I'm gonna put it into the because this gun is only ever used when you're testing something like a weapon in PvP with your mate, and you've told them to stand at a certain distance, and when you ADS with this weapon and look through the scope, it tells you exactly the meter range of how far the person is from you. That is the only usage I've ever used this gun for. Same with Max as well. So I'm gonna put this in air. It's definitely not underrated. It's not a fun gun to use because no one uses it, and the only time someone would use it is when you're damage testing from a certain distance in a PvP game, which is literally what I've used it for as well. So that's gonna go into it is what it is. DMT. When this gun first came out, it dominated the Crucible. I wouldn't exactly say that it is exotic tier. Like, there's nothing that really stands out about this scout rifle that makes me go, oh my god, yes, this is an exotic. Like, there's other scouts in the game which basically do the exact same thing as this. I'm gonna put it as fun. It's a fun gun to use. Obviously, it got nerfed heavily. It's really cool to have that kind of cowboy-esque hip fire action when it comes to a gun like this, and the reload animation is really fucking cool as well. So I'm gonna put that in. It's fun. It's not underrated. People definitely use it. It's far from trash. I think it's fun, suits the category for this one. Dead Messenger. I don't see anyone use this gun. I don't even really have much to say about it, to be honest with you. Deathbringer is underrated, man. This is such an underrated gun. You fire this thing in the sky and let it rain the void balls that eventually track onto your targets. The longer the balls fall from the sky, the more damage it does. At some point, this gun was melting bosses. It really is such a... In fact, actually, I'm moving this up to exotic. There isn't another exotic in the game which does what Deathbringer does. I don't even really use this gun, to be honest with you, but like, it's insane. It actually is a really good exotic. And unless you're using Nova Bomb on a Warlock, you're never gonna get anything else like Deathbringer. It's basically Nova Bomb in a gun. Moving on from Deathbringer, we have Delicate Tomb. Do you guys know about Delicate Tomb? No, you don't, which is why it's going into the trash section. There are so many better options. I understand that Arc is getting a lot of attention, but if you didn't have any of those artifact buffs or anything like that, like, what else is this gun gonna do for you? It's not as good as what people think it is. Anyway, speaking of more trash weapons, we have Deterministic Chaos. This came with Lightfall. It's horrible. The lore is cool. Actually, if you haven't read the lore of this, you need to give it a read because it is actually really cool lore. But the gun itself, some people don't even really remember the name of this weapon. Like, that's how forgotten this gun is. It's trash. Up next, we've got Devil's Ruin. It's just such a fun gun to use. It fires a laser, for crying out loud. Like, at some point as well, people were using this in PvP, and it was such a ball ache. Like, going up against someone that was using Devil's Ruin and they were on controller, it was almost a lost game every single time. Divinity! Oh my god, the meta for damage when it comes to pretty much every raid boss in the game. Divinity, that's going into the exotic list. That, like, if you don't have Divinity, you need to get Divinity. Unfortunately, it is part of one of the most horrible raids I've ever had the discouragement to play in my life, and the puzzles to get this done require so much communication with people that are so utterly stupid. But apart from that, if you've got this weapon, you're laughing. It's such a good gun. It's fun to use. If you're a Warlock, you probably are going to be using Divinity a lot if you're going into a raid with a bunch bunch of people. Mostly warlocks use Well of Radiance and Divinity. You might get the occasional hunter put on tractor cannon, for example, but again, we'll talk about that later into the video. But yeah, Divinity, that is exotic tier. Not a single weapon in this game does what Divinity does, and it does damage at the same time. Like, it's a no-brainer. Leaving a trail of fire in its wake, we have Dragon's Breath. Watching the enemies explode in front of you as you rain down a whole pathway of fire with this weapon. It's so fun. It is visually pleasing, and it is very, very fun. I'm so glad that they brought this back from Destiny 1, man. I'm so glad. Duality, I'm gonna put this in air because I do actually see it used, and it's not really a trash weapon, but occasionally people do bang this out in PvP, and it will one-tap you in the head, so there's that. Edge of Action is going into not used because I am not a Titan. Edge of Concurrence is going into not used because I'm not a Hunter, and Edge of Intent is going into not used as well because as much as I am a Warlock, I'm not going to be using this. If I'm going to be using a glaive that's an exotic, I'll be using Winter's Bite, thank you very much. And again, we'll talk about that later into the video. Ergo Sum. Now this gun, the lore is pretty cool because if you didn't play Season of Dawn and you went through the Sundial to try and find Saint 14 and bring him back to our current timeline with the help of Osiris at the time as well, you would have encountered a very, very fun section where you saw your guardian's grave, and the sword that was kind of imprinted on top of the casket, as per se, the coffin, was Ergo Sum. So the lore behind this is really cool. You should definitely check out the lore. Again, I'm not going to go too deep onto it because one, I'll go into a whole tangent because I love the lore of this game and this isn't that type of video. I'm going to put it in air. It's an air weapon. Mechanically, it's not the most amazing. It comes in a few different variants, but if this really was a good meta weapon, you'd be seeing it more often. I highly doubt it's not used. I'm sure you do get the odd person here and there bang this out because the perks are somewhat interesting, and it's definitely not trash, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's an underrated weapon because it is what it is. It's Ergo Sum. It's there for the lore. It's there for people to go, oh, I recognize that sword, rather than go, oh, we need this in a raid encounter. You know what I mean? Ariana's Vow. This weapon, bang that straight into the exotic tier. One of the most fun hand cannons to use when this thing first came out. And if you're playing momentum control and you're going up against someone that has Ariana's Vow, just leave. Just don't even engage in the fight because you're getting one tapped every single time. It's a hand cannon, literally the definition of a hand cannon. It's fun, it's cool. There isn't another hand cannon in the game that has this exotic perk. This is worthy of the exotic name. Oh my God, is euphony. I've got a strand build on my Warlock which completely relies on threadlings, and euphony is so sick for that build. I actually used two exotics for this. I use Euthony and I use Barrow Dyad because you can get Hatchling and Barrow Dyad and it just outputs so much damage. But if you need a linear fusion rifle to take out like a boss streaker or anything like that, this thing will stack up the damage arbitrarily and still spawn threadlings. And I don't see anyone use this weapon. It is so underrated. You need to use this weapon. It's insane. If you've got a strand build and you're on Warlock and you've got a threadling build going, get Euphony on. What are you doing? Next, we have Exderis. I'm going to put it in trash. It's a gun that fires a moth and the moth explodes. Again, it's whatever. It doesn't really even output that much damage. If you want something that you can throw an explosion on, then just have a look at things like Parasite. Again, we'll take a look at that later in the video. We have the raid exotic from Beyond Light. It is Eyes of Tomorrow. Now, Eyes of Tomorrow is in one of my most favorite raids. It's the Deepstone Crypt raid. It's on Europa. It's actually one of my most favorite raids of all time. I know it's not really up there on certain people's tier list when it comes to what your favorite raid is, but for me, Deepstone Crypt was definitely up there. And because I'm a Galahorn fan, when I found out that they were bringing a raid rocket launcher to the Deepstone Crypt, I was like, oh my God, yes, please. So me and my team went in and we actually got this weapon. In fact, me and my team, we flawlessed the Deepstone Crypt, and we have the Cryptic Legacy shader that you get for actually doing that raid flawless, and it was such a fun time. The energy was insane. But when I had this rocket actually drop, it was such a good feeling. It took me back to the Destiny 1 days where you see an exotic drop for the very first time. You're like, oh my God, I got an exotic. And it was like a whole thing. The only problem is that this gun's a little bit The damage isn't that great. The only thing really that this rocket's got going for it is the tracking is really good. The tracking is very, very good. And it does lock onto multiple targets, but the damage just isn't that great at all. By the time you've tracked onto a target, launched all the rockets into the air, and they've done their crazy animation of actually getting to the target, you could have outputted more damage with something else from this tier list. In fact, I'm fairly sure Deathbringer would do more damage. Moving on from that, we have got the bane of my existence in PvP. It is Fighting Lion. When I see someone launching Fighting Lion right around a corner and there's some flipping grenade bouncing all over the flipping place just trying to hit a singular target, it actually drives me insane. It's just so annoying. To be honest with you, if I can avoid going up against a Fighting Lion, I would. Not because it's a good gun. To be honest with you, the gun's kind of in terms of what it's capable of. You can get a kill with other things in much better ways. It's just really annoying. Having that thing bouncing off the corners is not exactly an exotic tier. Just because you have a grenade launcher that bounces off walls doesn't mean it's classed as an exotic. Unfortunately, this one is. But yeah, to me, it's just It's not mandatory. It's just whatever. Final Warning. Now, Final Warning is actually a pretty good gun. If you guys played Titanfall and you had the tracking pistol, that's literally what Final Warning is. I actually think that it's a really fun weapon to use. When you lock onto a target and you see all the little strand needles come out, it actually is cool. It actually is cool. It feels good and it actually does damage. It is pretty cool. I would give this gun a go if you haven't picked it back up, because Final Warning is actually not that bad. This next exotic is an absolute no-brainer. We've got Finality's Augur, and that is going straight into the exotic section. You spawn a pyramid turret, and then you can use the alternative firing action of the gun to laser point where the turret shoots a barrage of missiles. And then once you're done doing that, you can continue to use this weapon as a linear fusion rifle. I've literally seen Max use this in PvP and get kills with it. It's so fun, it's so unique, and it's honestly really sick. And if you don't know the lore, the actual deep lore, going back to the Leviathan days on Thundermont, before the Krill became the Hive, this gun's lore goes all the way back then, and you absolutely need to check it out because it's such a good weapon. Forerunner, this dropped with the 30th anniversary when they were giving us the Halo weapons. This is a fun weapon. It uses special ammo, and honestly, it does exactly what it should. It's from Halo. It's a fun weapon. It zooms in just like you would from the Halo gun itself. Obviously, it can't copy exactly the Halo weapon because that's copyright, and Bungie doesn't own Halo anymore, sadly, but it's a fun gimmick weapon. It's not that bad. It's not a terrible weapon, and it's really, really good if you're in Memento Control. Galahorn! Galahorn really should be one of those weapons that goes into the exotic tier, and I would exactly put Galahorn in the exotic tier if this was a Destiny 1 tier list, but sadly this is a Destiny 2 tier list, and Galahorn has fallen off massively. The tracking got nerfed absolutely into the ground. If you look at the tracking on Galahorn from Destiny 1, the fucking rocket does a U-turn in the sky just to reach its target. Now with this one's like you're shooting a rocket that needs help trying to find where it's going. It just bothers me so much. Galahorn was one of my favorite weapons in Destiny 1 as well. When you had Galahorn drop onto your screen, your world was upside down. Plus, a little fun fact for you, Galahorn was literally the first ever prototype exotic that Bungie ever made for Destiny 1. Like, this weapon should be like it should be in its own tier list, to be honest with you. But sadly, it's just it's not trash. It does have its perks, like it does enhance other rockets that are next to you as well, and people definitely use it. Like, you've got it in your inventory or you've got it in your vault ready to put back into your inventory. But yeah, it's fallen off massively, and it makes me want to cry because yeah, it's Galahorn. Grand Overture. This gun is absolute trash. The only time you recently used Grand Overture was when you locked onto the rockets and you had to shoot the flipping panel on the wall on the dungeon raid to get Icebreaker. That is the only time it was used, and it was never seen again. This gun is honestly dog shit. Graviton Lance. There's nothing like it. Graviton Lance has its own ballpark. This thing is incredible. It's just Graviton Lance is honestly a chef kiss. It's just absolutely insane, because not only is the ad clear incredible when you're using it in PvE, but people use it a lot in PvP and are absolutely melting with it, especially from far distances as well. Graviton Lance absolutely does deserve a slot in the exotic area. Hard Light. There was a time during Destiny 2 when auto rifles were just absolutely insane, and one of the guns that absolutely melted you in PvP was Hard Light, and I still think it is actually pretty strong. I'm gonna put it into the underrated list. I don't think people use it as much, especially when Kvostov came out, because Kvostov was another good one, and this one kind of just got overtaken by it. It kind of just got left in the shadows, but I definitely think it's underrated because it's still such a strong weapon, and if you try this out in PvP, I have a feeling you'll be using it a lot because it's It is a good gun. Heart Shadow just isn't used at all. If you want to go invis, you've got the Hunter class, which can go invis for an entire game almost, and they've also got the ability to make their teammates go invis as well. You literally don't need this weapon at all, and plus, why would you go into PvP with this weapon just to go invis? Just to pick up heavy ammo is really not that good, and again, there are so much more viable options in PvE. It's not used at all. Hawk Moon. This weapon, I'm gonna put it in the fun list. It is a fun one. Sometimes it can be a little bit, you know, temperamental when you have to peek shoot just to farm those headshots and get the kind of the final blow on the end of the final bullet for this one. The only thing that's a little bit frustrating is you literally cannot reload this weapon. The whole premise of this gun is that the last bullet does an insane amount of damage based on the amount of crit shots that you've got. So reloading this weapon is an absolute no-no. Get that R key unbinded. But to be honest with you, it is a fun gun to use. When you go up against someone, you get that pop straight in the head. It's such a satisfying feeling, man. It really is. It's still viable in PvP. I literally still see people use this today. That's going into the fun tier list. Oh my God, it's heir apparent. This has got the word Titan written all over it. If you are a Titan and you're not using heir apparent, what are you doing? This gun does what every Titan should be in the game right now. A walking tank. When you fire this thing up and you see the barrel spin round, your movement literally gets slowed. You get a second overshield over your guy, and this drains bullets and excels them out. This is such a... I'm going to put this in exotic. It's so good. We literally have nothing else like this in the game, and there's an ornament for this weapon which is so beautiful as well. The more I talk about the ornaments, actually, the more I kind of want to actually make an ornament video, but it's going to be so long. This video is already long enough. But yeah, heir apparent, that is an exotic right there. Next we've got Hierarchy of Needs. This gun is so underrated. What the hell are people doing by not using this weapon? It's so fun. The reason why I'm not putting it in the It's Fun section is because people actually use the guns that are in the It's Fun section. This is a fun bow, but it's never used. So I'm going to put it in the underrated section because it's actually good, and it is literally one of the best bows in this game in terms of looks. Honestly, I'm shocked I'm not even really putting this in the exotic tier, to be honest with you, because there really isn't another bow like this. It literally spawns like a Rasputin shield in front of you, and then you literally shoot arrows through that shield. It gives you a damage bonus, and I might be wrong here, but I'm fairly sure it actually makes the arrows track as well. I'm not too sure on that last bit there, but I know it definitely does increase your damage. And the bow looks gorgeous, man. It honestly looks like you're holding a weapon of just pure annihilation. It's so underrated, and people should use it more. Icebreaker. All you have to do is close your eyes, listen to the audio noises of exotic weapons in this game, and the moment you hear the sound of this weapon, you know exactly what gun this is. You know exactly what's on the way. Icebreaker is an absolute relic. It's so sad that I don't even really see people use it. I'm gonna have to put Icebreaker into the not used list because no one uses it, and there's not really anything right now viable in the game to bang this gun back out, which is so sad. It almost kind of makes me tear up with Gjallarhorn, to be honest with you, because like these two weapons, Icebreaker and Gjallarhorn, they should be up here, but there's just it's crazy. Yeah, I don't see anyone use Icebreaker. It came out, it was hyped, it got leaked in a poster by accident before Bungie even announced Icebreaker, because Bungie just being Bungie. But yeah, no one uses Icebreaker anymore. Jotun's going into the trash section because it's a trash gun and I don't like it, and if you use Jotun in PvP, then you're just a disgusting person and you're as trash as Jotun. Kvostov. When this gun came out, it was a bit of a meme, because was it gonna be as good as the Destiny 1 Kvostov? And the truth is, it wasn't. It was better. Kvostov is going straight to the exotic tier. The ornament for Kvostov, by the way, is absolute top tier, 10 out of 10. And if I had an S tier list going on right now for ornaments, that's exactly where I would put it. The amount of kills I have got with this gun in PvP is honestly disgusting. And the amount of ricochet kills I've got with the constant 7th bullet that just bounces towards another target is honestly beautiful. It's so fun to use. There isn't another gun like it. Sure, there's ricochet rounds, but these bullets track. It's so fun. Kvostov, I used this gun so much. That definitely belongs in the exotic tier. Izignagi's Burden. The way you got this exotic back in, I think it was the Armory season, the Black Armory season. Yeah, it definitely was the Black Armory season, obviously. The puzzle you had to go through to get this weapon was one of the most incredible puzzles I think Bungie has ever made when it comes to exotic guns. It actually looks really, really sick as well. It's got a really cool Cabal ornament too, which I love talking about the ornaments for some reason. I keep bringing it up. But Izagagi's Burden, you hold the R button, it reloads a super powerful shot that just does an insane amount of damage. I'm gonna put it into the it's fun because it is such a fun weapon. When you see that damage pop off at the end, you're like, yeah, that is the gun that I'm using. Le Monarch, oh man, I can't stand Le Monarch. When I see someone using Le Monarch in PvP, I honestly want to throw up. The tick damage that this gun, or not even gun, this bow does is so annoying. I'm gonna put it in yeah, not a fan of that one, to be honest with you. Again, this is my personal opinion. You might put this straight up into the exotic tier. I personally don't think it's exotic tier because there are other weapons that do the exact same type of thing that this does, and I'm just not, just not for it. Legend of Acreus. This was the first ever raid exotic that we got in Destiny 2. When the Leviathan raid came out and you had your first ever raid exotic drop for the very first time, man, that felt good. And this gun is definitely underrated. The kills that I've seen people get with this shotgun from an insane amount of range in PvP is honestly vile. I would even go as far as to say that it's worse than Chaperone sometimes, because it's disgustingly got long range. So if you haven't picked up Legends of Acreus in a long time, definitely give it another go, because it feels like you're just holding the barrel of a tank in your hand, and it feels so good. I would say it's definitely underrated. Leviathan's Breath. This thing was also really cool because when you pulled back the actual string of the bow, it's not just a string. You're actually ripping back a chain to pull the arrow back of this weapon, and then you launch it out and it does like an explosion. The problem is it's just not used. It's got no place in the current sandbox. No one uses it. The damage that it does not warrant the insanely long draw time that the bow actually has. So it sounds good on paper when you talk about it, but it's really just not viable anymore, I don't think. So I'm going to put it down as not used. Lodestar. Oh my god, if Lodestar was around during the laser tag event, which even it wasn't an event, to be honest with you, it was a bug that happened way back in the early days of Trials of Osiris when Prometheus lens was just popping off because it was broken. But yeah, Lodestar really just took over. I wouldn't exactly say that Lodestar fits into the exotic. Got a lot of trace rifles which are very similar to Lodestar, but it's definitely fun. It's definitely a fun weapon, and I would definitely put it into there. If you want a constant trace rifle build, this is the gun that you definitely want to have. Lord of Wolves. Lord of Wolves definitely isn't underrated. I'm gonna put Lord of Wolves in. It's fun. I recently used Lord of Wolves to kill Aphion to farm the rocket launcher in the Vault of Glass raid, and it definitely did the job. It's a strong weapon and it's definitely a fun gun to use. Lorentz Driver, I am gonna say that it is I don't really see that many people use it. Occasionally I do see it in PvP. It's a cool gimmick. I like the premise. I understand the idea, but it's definitely, I would just say, it's Lumina, really good support weapon, especially when you're going into PvP. Max actually used to main Lumina quite a lot when we went into trials back in the day, and I would use Thorn, and yeah, I would say that this is actually no, I would go as far as to say this is exotic tier. The fact that you can even just heal teammates with this is good enough. And to be honest with you, the lore of this weapon is actually really sick as well. That's definitely exotic tier. Malfeasance, another exotic tier weapon, does more damage when you're dealing damage to the taken primarily. The gun's design is flawless. The pattern on the side of the barrel is impeccable. The way the gun feels when you shoot it is almost like you've got like the most insane stability in the world, and the fact that it does mega burst damage when you shoot a certain amount of shots into something or someone is insane. That's definitely exotic tier right there. Merciless, I don't see anyone use that weapon. Not going to touch too much on that one. Microcosm is definitely an exotic trace rifle. The power of the Traveler in the palm of your hand, and the way that this laser beam shoots and looks and sounds, oh man, it's insane. I love it. I actually used this to kill the Witness, to be honest with you. It's such a good weapon. I really like it. Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is very unique because you can actually use the bayonet on the end of the barrel now, and the animation that you do when you actually stab someone with this sword is is so sick. We should have had that from the very beginning, to be honest with you, in Destiny 1, but obviously we didn't get it until later on after the weapon came out for quite some time in Destiny 2. I really do enjoy the fact that part of its perk means that you can rebuild your melee energy back. I don't personally need that myself, but it's a good touch for people who are doing melee primary builds. But again, it's got a perk that not really other guns in the game have, which is the bayonet on the end, and plus Monte Carlo is just a good looking weapon. In fact, it actually has an insane ornament. It's a Deep Stone Crypt inspired ornament, and it looks absolutely flawless, and I love it so much. Necrochasm is not only fun, Necrochasm is exotic tier. An exotic 900 RPM auto rifle, which does a huge throw explosion upon getting a critical kill, which then spreads with necrotic grip for my fellow warlocks. I love Necrochasm. Ever since this gun has come out, it has never left my inventory. I've got so many builds where I use Necrochasm as the primary slot, and I still use it to this day. I have thousands of kills of this gun in the Crucible as well, and I use it all the time in PvE. Oh man, Necrochasm, chef's kiss. Love it, love it, love it. Mida multi-tool for all of my Marathon fans out there, going way back to the vanilla days of Destiny when Mida multi-tool came out. It was actually a good reference to Marathon. Not many people use it anymore though, to be quite honest with you, so I'm going to chuck it into there. No time to explain. Well, luckily for you guys, I have plenty of time to explain as to why no time to explain is a very fun weapon. You get enough crit shots with this gun and it spawns a paracausal orb to the side of the weapon, which consistently locks onto targets and shoots with you. The lore of this weapon is that paracausal orb that shoots next to your gun as you're shooting the enemy as well is actually spawning bullets from an alternative timeline to help you kill the enemy in front of you. The lore of this weapon is actually really cool, and you definitely should check it out, but I would say that it's a really fun gun to use. The reason why I'm not putting it into exotic tier is because if you're a warlock main, you'll know that we've got many options when it comes to spawning little buddies next to us to help us out with shooting other things. So the actual exotic perk of this gun isn't really unheard of. We've got other ways of getting other buddies. For example, we've got the Solar Helion that you can spawn when you put down a rift. We've got the Arc buddy as well. Everyone knows what buddies we have in the game, so it's not exactly exotic tier that I would say, but it's still a really fun gun to use. For a while as well, No Time to Explain was really viable in PvP, and I actually kind of still think it is, to be honest with you. I just don't think it's used as much ever since we had Redrick's S-Stock, but now that we've gotten a nerf on that, we might see this a little bit more. But yeah, moving on, we have one of my all-time favorites. We have Osteo Striga. I wouldn't exactly say that this is exotic level, but I would say that it's definitely a fun gun to use. If you've got necrotic grips on and you're using Osteo Striga, there is not a room in this game that you will not clear out in seconds. The actual sound of when this gun shoots is insane. The actual shrieking noise it makes when you rev this thing up is almost like something's ripping itself apart inside of the gun. The way that you can see the actual sentient bullets fly out towards its target because it tracks. Again, it's not really viable in PvP. It's actually considered a bit of a trade machine when you take this gun into PvP, but it's just such a fun gun to use and one of my most favorite of all time. 1,000 voices only has one place on this board, and that is exotic tier. Tell me one gun in this game that's like 1,000 voices. It sounds so sick when you shoot the weapon. It was the one gun that everyone in the world had least of, because the only way that you could get it is from completing the Last Wish raid. Like, the amount of rhythm runs that it took for me to get this gun was absolutely insane. I don't even want to talk about how many runs it was, but yeah, I actually would love to see people use this gun more. I haven't seen someone use this weapon in such a long time. I personally think it needs a buff for anyone to get the attention back onto this gun. The laser beam that it shoots out and the explosion that it leaves behind, it's such a fun gun, and it just looks absolutely incredible. There's no other place to put this weapon than just the exotic tier. This is an exotic, unique weapon. Outbreak Perfected is also going into the exotic slot because this is the only Siva related weapon that we have in the game which uses pure Siva power. And if you guys don't know the lore between the House of Devils and the Siva tech that they tried to get their hands on, or in fact did get their hands on in the Rise of Iron expansion in Destiny 1, you would not really know much about this weapon, which is why I highly recommend that you do learn about those things, because Outbreak Perfected and the lore that it has behind the actual origins of this gun is so unbelievably sick. It ties into Fellwinter as well, which is one of the greatest warlocks of all time in Destiny lore. Yeah, Outbreak is just absolutely insane. In terms of gameplay mechanics, it literally spawns Siva nanites, which will locally track onto a target which is in close proximity of the target that you just defeated, and it does an insane amount of damage. The amount of double or even triple kills that I've seen Max get with this in PvP, purely because of that specific exotic trait, it's more than what I care to admit, to be honest with you. And there is no other gun in this game like that uses Siva tech. This definitely deserves a slot in the exotic tier list, 100%. Parasite, oh my god, we're getting all the good ones now. This gun absolutely deserves a slot in the exotic tier list. The way that you beef this bad boy up so that you can do the times 20 damage that comes as part of the perk when you use this weapon, and then you fire out the worm explosion from this gun onto an enemy and everything just gets completely annihilated in front of you, is insane. Again, it's so unique, which is why it deserves a slot in the exotic area. And the gun just feels so heavy as well. When you shoot the worm from this gun, it doesn't go far at all. It literally just goes a few meters in front of you because the weight behind the actual shot just gives you that sense of oomph and impact. And I love it. And it does so much damage and it's so sick. One of the best weapons to come to Destiny 2. It's just, yeah, it looks insane as well. Such a good gun. Polaris Lance. I'm going to put Polaris Lance in air. And the reason why a lot of people might actually disagree with me doing that is because you're going to say, wait, what? Polaris Lance is used in so many things like GMs. And it's like, yeah, I get you. I understand that it's used in things like GMs and it is viable in certain respects. But that's really all it's good for. It only has one unique purpose, and that is primarily just to get some people through some GMs and make their life a little bit easier. You take GMs away and this gun kind of loses its value. So yeah, it's whatever to me. It's whatever. Prometheus Lens, the very thing that became a meme in the vanilla Destiny 2 veteran community, because when Trials of Osiris came back as it returned from being the formidable Trials of the Nine, Prometheus Lens was broken. It was burning people to a crisp within, I want to say half a second, but it's probably even faster than that. Everyone used this in Trials of Osiris when this thing was bugged, and that is why and how we've got the famous laser tag event reference that I make a few times, to be honest with you. It was fun. When me and Max went into Trials with this gun, it was just a fun meme to run around with, so I'm going to put it in the It's Fun section. Quicksilver Storm is going in the trash section. No one uses it. It was a pre-order bonus for Lightfall, and it's honestly horrible. And to be honest with you, I actually think the design of the gun looks horrible as well. Rat King, I'm going to put in the air section. Rat King is only really decent somewhat if your entire fire team is using the gun, and when there's so many amazing options in this game already, it's very hard to convince one person to use this gun, let alone an entire team. So yeah, and there are other ways to go invisible in the game now. Like I said, the Hunter has the ability to make their entire team go invisible now. No need to have Rat King, it's just whatever. Red Dead Reformed. Red Dead Reformed. This gun is definitely fun. It's 100% fun. The lore behind it is really, really good. There's a reason why it has the Reformed name next to its title now, other than just the original Red Death from D1. I think it's a fun gun, and I see people use it a lot in PvP, so it's still viable for actual things that you would consistently do in the game. So yeah, I think that definitely belongs in the It's Fun section. Revision 0. Revision 0 is kind of now, to be honest with you. Once you fully upgraded it, and once you've kind of used it for a while, you then sort of go back to the other things that you used to use before Revision 0 came out. So I'm not going to delve too deep on this one. It's an interesting gun. I'm going to leave it into the air section. People do use it. It's not entirely trash. I do like the unique animation that it has when you convert it into a sniper rifle. It looks cool. It's visually pleasing, but it's whatever. Risk Runner is such a fun gun. For any noob out there that joins Destiny for the first time, Risk Runner is probably one of the first batch of exotic guns that you will ever get your hands on. When you get your hands on this and you are raining down enemies and watching electricity spread everywhere, your eyes just light up light blue at the exact same time, because this gun is just shredding enemies, and it's just a fun gun to use. It's so fun. Ruinous Effigy is a visually pleasing exotic. However, it's just and the reason why I'm going to put it in just is because it's more of a gimmick weapon. When you kill an enemy, it drops a void orb, and you can use the void orb to do AoE damage, but the AoE damage is extremely little, and you can throw it, and it's just I was gonna say no one uses it. I guess I can just put it into the not used actually now that I think about it, because yeah, it's just more of a gimmick weapon, to be quite honest with you. Now, believe it or not, this is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but I am going to put Salvation's Edge into the exotic section. Now hear me out, because I am a Stasis Warlock god after all. Salvation's Grip got me Frost Armor an insane amount of time. The shatter damage that it did with the amount of crystals that you spawn literally shredded dungeon bosses. It was so good when you have the aspect on which allows you to deal more damage when you're near a crystal. It helps spawn lances for the titans as well. Every single time a stasis crystal was destroyed because of a certain artifact that you would have on, it also allows warlocks to get their grenade back faster. Salvation's Grip was just such a good weapon, and I would definitely class it as an exotic. And the reason why I would class it as an exotic, again, just additionally to add on top of that, is because there's not another gun in this game that not only looks like that, but does the same thing as that. I mean, you have a bow that we're about to talk about later, which spawns a couple crystals at the same time. However, the actual volume and mass of the crystals that spawn with this gun actually outputs so much damage, and you can basically just build like your own ice fortress like around you. It's such a fun gun to use, and it's definitely worthy of the exotic title. After all these years, by the way, when this gun came out for the first time in Beyond Light, it was completely forgotten about. It was not until recently this gun actually resurfaced, and I've actually started to use it more in my stasis build. Skyburner's Oath is trash. Nothing to say about it. No one uses it. You probably don't even really remember what the exotic perk does. It's honestly trash. Slayer's Fang is actually massively underrated. This shotgun is insane in PvP. The range on it is actually really good as well. If you haven't used Slayer's Fang in PvP, do yourself a favor, pull this from collections, get it from your vault, pop into PvP, and go around with this gun. It absolutely shreds. It honestly shreds so much. And plus, oh my god, I just remembered, the reload animation of this weapon is one of the best reloading animations I think I've ever seen. It honestly feels like you're just loading the barrel of a tank. It's so, oh man, it's so good. Slayer's Fang, I'm going to leave it in the underrated section because I do feel like people sleep on this quite a bit. Sleeper Simulant, that is going into the exotic slot. Sleeper Simulant, I mean, there's nothing really much to say about it. It's Sleeper Simulant. If you know, you know. Still Hunt, for all of my main hunters out there. If you're a Golden Gun fan, you can convert this gun into a Golden Gun. It also works with Celestial Nighthawk as well. I'm going to put it into the It's Fun section. I'm not a hunter main. I actually can't stand hunters, to be honest with you. However, I can understand why this would be quite an insane and fun gun to use if you are a hunter main out there. Sturm, I'm going to put in It's not really great unless you're using Drang, and there are better other sidearms to use out there. Sunshot is definitely worthy of the exotic section. The explosions that you can do with this weapon, the spread that you can do with this weapon when it comes to solar damage. Max used to use this quite a lot as well. Sunshot definitely has earned its slot in the exotic section. So just like Hardlight, I'm going to put the Surge Regime in the underrated section, because Surge Regime was also a really insane gun to use back in the day when auto rifles were actually properly meta. And I have a feeling that if you were to take this out in PvP again, it probably is still good. Sweet Business, that's literally D2 vanilla right there. I'm gonna put it as it's whatever. There are better options. Symmetry, again, has got a perk where you can reload the weapon to change it into kind of like a tracking arc missile thing. It's whatever. Taraba is fun. This gun dominated PvP at one point as well, and when you see the lights glow up on the side of the barrel when you've been gaining the Ravenous Beast modifier that you get with the gun, it honestly absolutely shreds, and it's probably the fastest shooting SMG in the game, and it's just insane. It makes you feel like a paper shredder when you take this out. Tessellation, trash. Not a fan of it, don't like it, which is really unfortunate because it's the pre-order bonus for the final shape, but no one uses it, no one will use it, no one's ever gonna use it, and it's just really frustrating because it's a good looking gun and it's just trash. Did someone say Telesto? Telesto does a really good job at breaking the game, and it actually has become a meme, a well-known meme in the Destiny 2 community, because Telesto became the new Pocket Infinity. And if you guys didn't play Destiny 1 and do not know what Pocket Infinity is, then you are missing out, because Pocket Infinity literally broke people's Xboxes with how crazy that weapon was. And Telesto followed from that in Destiny 2 and broke the game many times. And now when you use Telesto and it does all of this crazy stuff now, that's definitely exotic worthy. That is going into the exotic slot right there. Last Word, oh man, I'm gonna put Last Word in and I know people are really gonna kind of berate me on that, but ultimately, what is it? It's a fast-firing hand cannon which works well on the hunter, and I can't stand hunters. Like, there's nothing unique about this. You literally have Ace of Spades, which is much better in my opinion because you have Memento Mori. Last word is just last word. It's great for hunters if you're on the sticks. That's about it. It's eh. Chaperone, also eh to me. It's a long-range shotgun that makes you feel like an absolute moron when you die to it in PvP. I don't like it personally. It's kind of a one and done, forget about it the next day type of weapon. It's hardly meta. It's whatever. The colony. See, the colony is a really unfortunate one because when you shoot this thing, it shoots out little robot spiders that chase your target and explodes. The only problem is it does very, very little damage and no one uses it anymore. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw someone fire this weapon, let alone me use the weapon. So yeah, it's gonna go there. The fourth horseman was a really fun gun to use in Destiny 1. It was actually my cousin's favorite weapon as well, to be honest with you, when he played Destiny 1. But again, no one uses it, which is really unfortunate. Huckleberry, again, not going to dwell too much. No one uses that weapon. The Jade Rabbit, I don't really have too much to say about this either. I'm just going to put it into the air section. It's whatever. Lament is actually so fun. When you see the chains rip up from this exotic sword and you just do the overhead slam, it's really cool. And I actually really do like it. I used the Lament quite a lot when I was on the Crota raid, doing Crota actually at the final boss. Obviously, we have other swords which do the same kind of unique animation as what the Lament does as well. However, I just think it's a really fun gun to use, and it does actually do a decent amount of damage as well. Next, we have the Manticore. For any of my Titans or Hunters out there that wanted to continue playing their favorite class and know what Heat Rises feels like on a Warlock, this was the gun for you, because the exotic perk was that you can hover it in the air and still shoot the weapon from above. But again, I don't see anyone use it. It's literally just whatever. I would actually put this in not used. I wouldn't say it's eh, because when you do use it, it is pretty cool, but it's not enough to be underrated, and I just don't see people use it. The Navigator, again, not used. Prospector, again, not used. Wow, we're really starting to fill up this now. Queensbreaker, I actually think is absolute trash. This gun, you will never ever see another day where this gun resurfaces and everyone talks about it. You will never see a day when someone puts the Queenbreaker in their thumbnail and it's like the highlight topic. It's never going to happen. Queenbreaker is honestly trash. Wardcliff Coil. This gun deserves a slot in the exotic section. Absolutely 100%. It absolutely tanked the first encounter for the Deepstone Crypt as well. If you know, you know, like I mean. But yeah, Wardcliff Coil. What, like, oh my god, it's such a good gun. Thorn, oh my god, guys, if you guys don't know me, you do not know that Thorn is my favorite weapon. You know where I'm gonna put it already. Thorn is my favorite exotic weapon of all time. I absolutely love the lore. I absolutely love the dredgens. I love dredging yore. I love everything about Thorn, and I love the fact that I'm a warlock main that uses necrotic grips and Thorn synergizes with it. When this gun got a catalyst, I think I cried a little. I'm gonna be honest. I think I did. I love Thorn. It's my favorite weapon of all time. I've got thousands of kills on it in the PvP. 10 out of 10 from me. Thorn that's my baby right there. Thunderlord. If you want to rain down lightning from a machine gun continuously and you're not a Titan that has that annoying barricade, then Thunderlord is for you. I'm gonna put that into the it's fun section. TQ's Divination is actually so underrated. It's a tracking arrow which does AoE explosion damage. All you have to do is lock onto a target and shoot the initial arrow. There you go. That's your tracking dart from Battlefield Bad Company 2 just locked onto you there. And then you shoot the arrow and it literally goes towards your target and then blows up an ignition, causing AoE damage. More people need to use this. It is massively underrated. Tommy's Matchbook is a really fun gun to use. Obviously, you have got the downside that you're constantly taking damage whenever the gun starts overheating. However, with the current meta that we have in the game right now, there are many ways to counteract that. It's a really fun gun to use, and a lot of hunters are starting to use this obviously as well. I do not care what anyone says. Touch of Malice is massively underrated. You literally shoot out a blight from the weapon. The lore behind the gun is absolutely insane. If you haven't played Heresy as well, or you haven't been keeping up with the lore, there's actually a few hints to Touch of Malice actually in Heresy and some of the lore books in Heresy as well, which actually lead to Touch of Malice. I think it's a fantastic gun. It's massively underrated. Believe it or not, I actually used to use this gun in PvP, and I've got quite a few kills on this as well. It's a good one. If you haven't touched Touch of Malice in a while, definitely grab it from collections because, yeah, it actually is a fun gun to use. Tractor Cannon. belongs nowhere other than the exotic slot. This debuffs your target, causing you to do more damage. The amount of times I've seen this gun taken out in raids, it's honestly become raid meta. I don't even need to talk more about it. Tractor cannon, definitely exotic tier. Traveler's Trozen is honestly trash. I really do not know why, like, this could have been so much better. It really could have. Trespasser, trash. No one uses it. You probably don't even know what it does. If you're an Arc player and you haven't got Trinity Ghoul yet, you definitely need to get it. Honestly, I can imagine pretty much everyone that sees this video has Trinity Ghoul. It's a fun gun to use. Did I just say gun? I mean bow. It's a fun bow to use. Definitely try it. The way that it chains lightning, it's very similar to Risk Runner, but it's a bow. I think it's pretty fun. Truth, oh my god. This gun upsets me, to be honest with you. Sadly, I'm actually going to put Truth in the trash section because it's fallen off massively. Truth used to be an absolute beast in Destiny 1, but it's just been nerfed to the ground in Destiny 2 now. Two-Tail Fox, there are so many more viable options when it comes to rocket launchers into this game. I'm actually going to put Two-Tail Fox into trash as well. This thing will actually need quite a huge buff if it's ever going to see the light of day again in the current sandbox that we have. Next up, we have Verglass Curve. For you guys that don't even remember what this is and probably don't even recognize it from its little thumbnail that I've got here, this is the Stasis Bow. It is dog shit. If you have Salvation's Grip, there is literally no reason as to why you would ever use this weapon. Vex Mythoclast. This thing dominated the PvP. It almost felt like an auto rifle at one point. This is a fun gun to use. If you guys don't have Vex, you need to get it. It's really, really good. Vex Excalibur, a glaive from the Vex realm. Honestly, I don't see anyone use this weapon, and honestly, even I cannot even remember what this thing does. We are getting into the meta now of the D2 vanilla times. This was a fun gun to use. This was used so much in trials. I am obviously talking about the infamous Vigilance Wing. I don't really see people use it much more. Again, that's probably because Redrick's S-Stock has just been taking over the PvP kind of area in such a long time now. Who knows, maybe we'll see Vigilance Wing pop back up now that Redrick's S-Stock has been nerfed. Again, I don't think we will because we have got better options than Vigilance Wing now, but this gun was so fun to use back in the day, back in the early days of Destiny. Wave Splitter, no one uses it. I don't even know enough about Wave Splitter to say that it's trash, and that's not because I haven't got it or haven't used it. I've used it many of times, and I've obviously got the gun. It's just never used. Whisper of the Worm is honestly gonna go straight to the exotic section. The fact that you can auto-fill the magazine of this gun from constantly loading crit shots is honestly insane. The lore of this weapon is absolutely incredible as well. It looks amazing. It feels amazing. The audio, the visuals, it sounds amazing when you shoot the weapon. Just hearing that reloading noise in your ear as you're firing constant crit shots. Yeah, Whisper of the Worm, 10 out of 10 weapon for me right there. Wicked Implement. That's going straight into the trash section. What a terrible gun, man. Honestly, what a terrible gun. If you're into stasis like me and you like crowd control and you're a fan of glaives, then Winter's Bite really is the glaive for you. I would put the ornament on this though, because the ornament looks so much better than the original version of this glaive. But yeah, it's so fun. The crowd control is really, really good. It shoots out a stasis ball, which is a slow moving stasis ball, which will shoot out spikes of stasis onto enemies and it will automatically freeze them. It's really good ag control, and it's a good exotic. If you want to be a cheater but not actually cheating the game, then Wishender is a bow that you can try. Me and Max back in the day when we took this into trials had some synergy. I would ADS with Wishender and say when an enemy's on the way, we would then both peek at the exact same time and he'd shoot them and I'd shoot them, and it'd be an immediate death for whoever is the unfortunate foe to walk into the firing line of both this weapon and the end of Max's barrel. I would say that this goes straight into the it's fun section. The reason why I'm not putting Wishender into the exotic section is because the perk where it allows you to temporarily see targets through the walls is actually a common thing now on other weapons in the game. So yeah, sadly it's kind of fallen off of the exotic tier, I would say, in my mind. Anyway, moving on from Wishender, we have Wishkeeper, another bow which is actually going to be going into the trash section. It is a strand bow. It's a gimmick gun. It sends out like a spider web-esque type of bow. No one's gonna use it. It's not good. Oh my god, Witherhoard has joined the tally, and I am putting that straight into the exotic section. Witherhoard is great. Witherhoard is really, really great, and it's just great, and Witherhoard is great. That is my description of this weapon, because it's so good. You get a direct impact on a target, it will slowly tick them down until they're dead, and then it will drop a pool of AoE damage for anything that steps in it as well, and it will just keep on ticking damage. It's such a good weapon, and it's also a guaranteed kill if you get a direct impact with this thing on a Guardian in PvP. Plus, I just love the animation of when the actual bullet or thing, whatever you shoot from this, actually hits the target. It's such a cool effect. World Line 0 is trash, and I'm not even going to talk about it. Xenophage. Xenophage, I've been making the reference of saying that it feels like you're holding the end of the barrel of a tank or something. This is exactly this weapon. If you take the barrel of a tank off and then put it into your hand, that's what Xenophage is. This is going into the exotic section. The lore behind Xenophage is absolutely incredible, and I love it so much. If you don't know the lore of this weapon, you need to go and watch a video, or you need to go and do some reading, because it's so cool, the lore of this weapon and how it was made. But when you fire this weapon, it honestly sounds like a tank barrel has just shot a massive load into a massive stainless steel wall. The actual jolt that you get from this when you shoot the gun just feels like you're like a beast holding a massive cannon. Like, it feels so good. And the reason why I'm also putting it into the exotic section as well is because, again, there's just not an exotic out there that's like Xenophage. This actually helped me do my solo flawless run of the Prophecy Dungeon. So yeah, me and Xenophage go way back. And that right there, guys, brings us to the end of the video. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comment section below. What would you change? What guns would you put where if you were in control of this tier list? What do you think in your mind is classed as the absolute exotic weapon? And also let me know what your favorite exotic weapon in Destiny 2 is as well. I'd be really interested to see what that is. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Obviously, this is a little bit of a longer video, and again, all of this is literally just my opinion, so don't take it to heart. And yeah, thank you for sticking around to the end, guys. Thank you so much for the support on the channel, and I'll see you for all the next stuff that's in relation to Destiny 2 and Frontiers very soon. Guys, again, thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye.